Welcome back once again to the StarCraft 2 World Championship Series USA National Finals. Did I do it? I got it?
It's the grand finals for the USA Nationals. That's all right, though,
because I feel like I disappoint you every time I get it wrong.
You never disappoint me. So we're now moving into game number 2 of the grand finals here between Daisuki and Vibe. It is going to be on Daybreak.
Daybreak, a big, long map, and it's a map that's it's hard to make early game aggression work on Daybreak because it's such a big zigzaggy path through the middle.
That far ground distance is really a huge deterrent for that. So let's go ahead and hop into that game. Down here in the lower left-hand corner of the map, it is Nitrix Daisuki. And over here, he's only one game away from potentially being the World Championship Series USA National Champion. This is Roots Vibe.
Well, I've got some fans in the house, man.
Hey, he's been around for a long time, made a name for himself pretty early on in StarCraft 2. He's had recent success as well in the 3rd season of NASL.
Yep, he's played okay over there at the North American Star League, shown a lot of really great games. He's kind of known for his ATM. He's a very fast player, yeah. And it kind of shows. I mean, we saw the last game not really missing a beat with his macro. He's right on with his timings and his upgrades and everything else.
He's really smart about picking his engagements as well. Came out favorable for the most part.
Just danced around until he found a spot where he could force that one big fungal. And with that, was able to win this game. I kind of expect, Rob, that we're going to see Hatch first on both sides. Yeah.
So in this situation, what does Daisuki do? You know, you were in a straight-up game against a player that you're pretty evenly matched against. He came out ahead. Oh, Daisuki, instead opting for that 16 pool.
Same build that we saw on Ohana. Pool into Hatch, into Gas. Which it's fine. It's like a middle-of-the-road build, right? It's not as aggressive as the Speedling Open.
But Vibe over here, willing to take the risk going out with his Hatch first.
A blind Hatch first, also.
Yeah.
6 pool on this map is literally awful.
Even against Hatch first?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you could go Hatch first and still have your pool done in time to salvage it.
It is so far. Also over here, Daisuki following up, dropping down a Hatch of his own. So in Daisuki's situation, what is he going to do here? Potentially one game away from being eliminated in the tournament. No. You only go home with $3 grand in comparison to the piles of money that the winner goes home with. And also the invitation to the global finals.
I think Daisuki's just going to do the same thing he did on the last map. He's going to try to play the best game that he can and see if he can perhaps take a couple of better fights, a few better engagements.
That tech advantage seemed to really play out for Vibe, having those infestors down there, able to deal just so much AoE damage, preventing also Daisuki from being able to use his whole army to engage.
Infestors are scary units. They really are. Like, if you get caught out of position once against infestors, you're just going to lose. And Vibe shows, Vibe exploited that on Ohana. So Hatchery finishes up for Vibe. He's going to go ahead and transfer some units down there. Daisuki just going to make a queen. Does he even make Zerglings?
I don't think he's got 2 moving across. Yep, that set is going to get over here. It's going to see that the queen is just about to pop out from that hatchery, so he's going to have that double queen. Oh, but the Lings intercept for just a split second. A small dance. Now Daisuki's going to be able to get up into the main and see what Vibe's up to. Nothing too surprising going on up here.
The happy life of a Zergling, Rob. Runs around. Gets shot at by a queen.
Standard.
It's like living in the South.
Lots of queens down in the South. I know you're very familiar with that. So both these players starting up their Baneling nests, and now here Daisuki's 2 Scout Lings finally taken out by Vibe.
But he saw everything that he wanted to see. He saw, you got to look at the worker count, and look at Vibe. He's going to get up into the main base as well. Sees that Daisuki's mining gas, building a Baneling nest. Oh,
but he doesn't quite get over the seas now. Just gets into the range of the Baneling nest. Knows that he's up to just about the same exact thing. Vibe, though, significantly ahead as far as his Zergling speed goes.
Yeah, he got the faster gas, and Daisuki likes to get this Baneling nest before his Zergling speed just so that he can be safe against Zergling aggression. We saw some of that in the last game, but Daisuki managed to get through it without taking too terribly much damage. One of the struggles that you face when you do this pool into hatch build is that you just don't have as many units out on the map like at the time that these Zerglings are going to come, like the ones that Vibe are making. See, Daisuki's he's having to drone here in order to keep himself even or ahead, and Vibe's able to make these Lings and apply some pressure. And All it takes is 2 bad Baneling detonations and Daisuki's in big trouble.
Right, and that was actually exactly how that game started in the beginning of the last game. That one manual detonation just putting him a little bit behind, making that engagement so much more difficult for him. Vibe pushed through his base. We'll see if he's going to have the presence of mind to not make that happen again. Of course, Vibe is one that is willing to put the pressure on and put you in an awkward spot.
Vibe going straight up to lair, Rob. I think you might follow this up with some mutas or maybe even infestors. Also adding in some additional gases. He's got all these lings outside the natural of Daisuki. And he is going to go ahead and poke up this ramp. What is he going to see? A couple spine crawlers waiting for him.
That's right. And this is, oh, wow, going in for the round. He sees all the Banelings, barely gets out of there. One of those detonating. Relatively even detonation for him. Oh, a little bit of that Baneling micro.
Pretty good control
by really good with the response.
Oh, splits up his lings and does sneak up into the main base. He's going to see the building lair. He sees the gases. That's actually
he's also going to see that Roach Warren, which is going to be so helpful for him. Yes, he knows that there is only one single extractor being gathered from for Daisuki.
Daisuki immediately going to apply a little bit of counter pressure with these Zerglings. And what is Vibe going to do, I wonder? He is mining on 4 gas. His lair is about to complete, so will it be mutas or will it be infestors?
Well, we're going to find out soon enough. He's droning up before he deals with any of that. So we are going to see that. Man, Muta Ling.
Yeah, and this is something that well, I guess let's say a few weeks ago even, it was like all the rage on the North American ladder. We're starting to see some of these infestor builds becoming a little bit more popular, but Muta's still a very effective way to play ZVZ. They give so much map control, they can kill all these Mutas, clean out all the vision that Daisuki has of the map. Daisuki will be able to use these 4 spine crawlers. That's a tell in and of itself. Probably make it up to it.
No, yep, the Overseer starting to close the gap. Does get up there, does see the Spire in creation. And Daisuki's, yes,
the genesis
spawning in
of the
something
Spire.
like that, yeah. So Daisuki's 3rd is just about finished up. He's got a couple Spore Crawlers starting out at that 3rd as well. He's going to be likely more than prepared, but you can still very much exploit the massive mobility that those Mutalisks have. Just bouncing between the bases, forcing your opponent to build Spore Crawlers when he doesn't want to. He's also going to be able to make so many Mutas when he pops out. Look at that gas count for Vibe.
Yeah, he's going to have about 1,200 gas. So as soon as he has just the minerals for it, he'll be able to power out more and more Mutalisks. He's guaranteed to get quite a few Overlord kills. But back in the base of Daisuki, he's looking very safe. The spores are up. He's got 2 spores at each base. Drone count shows us a pretty even game. Once again, 55 drones to 50. With Vibe's own 3rd base about halfway complete.
Oh, I like this very much, Mr. Bitter. So we see that there's only really been 1 round of Mutalisks made by Vibe. And now he's following up by upgrading his missile attacks. So you can get over there, you force your opponent into wasting too much money on your Spore Crawlers, and as long as you're able to do a little bit of damage, you can then just rush through with a big wave of roaches. But of course, Daisuki also has a plan of his own. He's already got pathogen glands on the way. His infestation pit is finished. But we don't see his unit count terribly high just yet.
Vibe just flying around, picking off Overlords here and there and everywhere. And this is going to, like we said, it's going to dim the vision that Daisuki has of Vibe's side of the map, and it's also going to force him to produce some more Overlords.
Yeah, and once
certainly
again,
not as expensive as Mutalisks.
Now Vibe's staying really active with those units. He's making sure that Daisuki is in a terrible, terrible knowledge spot again. As we saw last game, he really didn't have much vision to see exactly what was going on around the map. Now we see Daisuki is trying to get in a couple of scouts with those spine crawlers, stopping him dead in the natural. Also, Vibe continues the air assault, picking off all of those Overlords.
He's going to get a couple more Infestors
on the way. This could be dangerous. The Infestor is getting very close, lands the Fungal onto a group of those Mutalisks. He has another Fungal already ready to 2 Queens, trying to get him down. 1 Mutalisk goes down, and Vibe is forced to get out of there.
Loses a Mutalisk for an Overlord and a Baneling.
And now we also saw a Baneling go into Vibe's worker line, or actually, there's a little bit of damage done over there in that base. Nothing really taken out though. Taking a look at the workers killed, Vibe only has a single 1, Daisuki with 0.
Both guys still posturing right now. It's, the Infestors are going to make these mutas much less effective, although some cute control by Vibe spreading out these Beetles. He's going to come in and pick off some Infestors. Oh, beautiful transfusion there.
Oh, second transfuse onto the Infestor, saving its life. Oh, prolonging its life for just a little further, and the Hydralisks have arrived.
Excellent control there by Vibe. 3 transfusions, and then the Hydras show up, so nothing doing there for Vibe and these mutas. Vibe's slightly supply blocked right now. And wow, look at all the money that Vibe has. As soon as he has supply room, he's going to make a lot of something.
My money's on Roach's bidder.
I'm with you, man.
He's got his second missile attack underway, also adding on his second Evo chamber so he can get those armor upgrades going, and there's all the Roaches.
Only 10 because that's all the larvae he had. Perhaps missing a couple injects here and there.
Yeah, the Queen energy has been getting a little bit high on each of his queens at their bases. Probably doesn't use the Mr. Bitter larva trick.
There is no such thing as a Mr. Bitter larva trick. But I wish there was. Maybe in Heart of the Sword, you can make
I recall
one.
you being one of the first people to use backspace.
Yes,
yeah.
That is. I do advocate backspace injects. Definitely. You're right. We should rename that the Mr. Bitter method.
No, I mean, hey. Could have been all yours for the taking. Vibe got over here in the third on the far west side of Daisuki. Got in there, landed a bunch of those infested Terrans down. It's looking like the hatchery's going to go down. Only 200 HP remaining. Oh, and it goes down. But Daisuki has taken a fourth amidst all of the action over here. Now Daisuki just a little too late there. Comes in with the Roaches, but he's not able to save the base.
Yeah, loses the hatch. Does not lose that much in the way of drones. 12 workers killed in total. 58 drones to 69 drones in favor of Vibe right now. Daisuki does have another base that he can fall back to, so it's still 3 base Zerg to 3 base Zerg. Oh no, Daisuki, don't A-move your Banelings into rocks!
Well, that's one way to get them down very quickly, I guess.
Daisuki is pushing through the center of the map. Vibe's got a big concave set up. It's Roach Infestor against Roach Hydra Infestor.
Oh, wow, and getting there now. He's trying to get the mutas in there. Oh, but a huge fungal landed onto Vibe. Vibe caught just a little bit out of position here. Now Daisuki following up. He does have a queen in the back, but it's looking like Vibe just has a few more fungals at his fingertips. Getting in there, and it's going slightly into Daisuki's favor. Vibe forced into a retreat as he waits for the reinforcements to join up at the fourth.
Those Hydras with that additional damage output. Infestors are here, though. They've got a couple more fungals, and the army of Daisuki is very low on health. There's a big fungal going down, and Vibe's got his own Hydras popping out, and I think he will hold at this fourth hatch. Daisuki has to turn around, dropping a what are these queens doing? These are Rambo queens, Rob.
Getting out there, and they weren't able to land those transfusions that would have very much helped him in that engagement. Now Vibe continuing his assault across the map, adding the infested Terrans into the battle, forcing Daisuki to go back to his fourth. And once again, Vibe significantly ahead on the work count. At least he's got just about a 10 lead, and now the supply lead has been in his favor for the first time for a good chunk of the match.
Yeah, and he's got plenty of money to spare right now, Rob. With the next round of larva that pops off, he should be able to hop up to about 180 supply or so. And he's going to spend all of his gas on infestors, so maybe not quite that much. But regardless, it's a pretty good position to be in if you're Vibe. He's ahead economically, he's ahead militarily, and he's being very sneaky.
Oh, wow. Vibe just waiting for the perfect moment to unveil all those Roaches, and he ambushes Daisuki's push here, taking down those Roaches left and right. The Hydras are exposed. They do not have the protection that they need to be entirely effective here. Now Vibe moving up just a little bit, but the Infestors don't have any more energy from that previous engagement.
Yeah, it's very smart by Vibe to burrow those Infestors. Daisuki seems to have just a few more units right now. Where's the rest of Vibe's army? He's got 24 Roaches in production. That's a lot of supply in production. And Roach is going to continue to give chase. Daisuki might be able to pick off this hatchery. Yeah, I think that he's going to. And the Vibe's going to come down here with the rest of his units, lands another pretty good fungal. And he's going to be chewing away at the army of Daisuki.
That's right, landing those fungals left and right, eliminating what is left of Daisuki's push here. Now that fourth does go down. The Broodlings also join the fight a little bit, and Vibe pushing Daisuki back. Oh man, and the supply count is just so much in Vibe's favor, and Daisuki now forced to do an all-out retreat.
Yeah, in spite of this good aggression from Daisuki, Vibe still stabilizes immediately, just burrows to heal up his units, and Daisuki, GG's.
Wow, so there it is. Vibe is the national champion for the StarCraft 2 World Championship Series US Nationals. He will be invited to the global finals that'll be happening later this year.
As of right now, Vibe can stand up on that stage and say, yes, I am the best player in America.
That's right.
And he's got the check to prove it.
So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, congratulations to Vibe for taking home $12,000. There he is, your national champion. Give a cheer for Vibe.
Congratulations to Vibe. Over here on the Blue Stream, we are going to take a short break, but you will be hearing from our winner in just a moment. Stick around, guys. An interview with Vibe and lots more StarCraft 2 coming up after this.